Okay guys, so new style of video for the channel. I'm gonna start putting out some educational content on here alongside the vlogs that I've been doing that have kind of been more focused on my own training performance in the gym, and documenting my journey with my business. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down 5 things that I believe are essential in order to get results with your health and fitness. Obviously, this is based off my own personal experience over the last 13 years and working with a lot of clients in person and online. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please go and have a look at my profile there. Joe_is_fit. Post content there daily. That's where we post all our client transformations. So I do think it is important to give a little bit of background and provide some social proof when you are saying things like this. As I say, I've got 13 years of training experience myself. That is in the gym and also with running. I've been running for about 4 years now, but I have been strength training for well over a decade. I'd say I've worked with, at this point, hundreds of clients in person and online with, the typical goals of building muscle, losing fat, and improving performance. In the last year, my brand, Athletic Aesthetic, has very much moved over into hybrid training. So we now coach people who combine that strength training and an endurance-focused training. And we've just been attracting those sort of clients because that's the content that I put out on a daily basis, documenting my own journey. We're working with almost 100 people right now, and I think almost everyone that we've got on the program is combining strength and endurance in some way. So when we talk about getting results, there's a distinct difference between getting results and maintaining them. So for example, you might see someone get shredded for a summer holiday or whatever, but then you always know those people that put the weight back on straight away within 2 or 3 weeks because they've gone all out and they've binged or whatever it is. That is not kind of the message that I'm trying to transfer with my brand. My ethos is all about getting results and maintaining them and staying in shape year round. So I think it's just important to understand the difference there between getting results and actually maintaining them. It's easy to lock in for a period of time and get the result, but maintaining them year round, it really does require a significant lifestyle shift, which is what I'm gonna kind of break down in this video. So mindset and setting goals, I do believe they come together, and I think it's important to say until you've got your head and your mind in the right place, it's not going to be impossible to get in shape, but it's going to be a lot harder to stay adherent to a program or a plan that you're following. And I really do believe that mindset and setting goals, they do come together. So goals are obviously what drive you forward and keep you focused and showing up. I think at this point, hopefully everyone knows that you can't rely on motivation to show up, but there are certain ways where you can kind of increase your motivation. So for example, if you are prepping for a holiday or something like that, that is probably a medium to a short-term goal that you're working towards. If we look at it from a performance standpoint, if you've got a half marathon that you're going to you're going to compete in 12 weeks time, then that is a medium to short-term goal that you're currently working towards. And I am currently doing that myself. So every time I'm getting up and going on my run, maybe I don't want to hit the certain paces, maybe they're hard, maybe I don't want to run that certain distance in that amount of time. It's that goal that I've set that makes me do that and keeps me fully adherent to the program. So if I just touch on my own fitness and business goals, fitness wise, as I've said, currently working towards a half marathon time and trying to run that in under 90 minutes. I'm also trying to maintain my strength in the gym, and I've got some specific numbers that I have as my minimum standards to maintain year round, such as 30 kg weighted pull-ups to reps. And then business goals, I have certain numbers that I want to hit over the next 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. So I know exactly what my goals are and where I'm going, and it keeps my mindset and mind in the right place. So when you are setting goals, and when we set goals with our clients, we encourage them to have a big goal. So it could be, I want to lose 20 kilos over the next 16 weeks. We had a guy sign up last night who said he wanted to do that. That obviously is a big goal, but unless you break that big goal down into smaller goals and incremental phases, that client's probably going to struggle to stay adherent because it's almost such a big goal that it might seem too far away. Whereas if we try and break that down into, losing 5 kg every 4 weeks, it seems a lot more attainable, and it gives the client and the individual 4 weeks to work towards, rather than saying, I'm trying to lose 20 kg in 16 weeks. Sometimes it just seems too far away for it to be achievable. Training, Obviously, in order to get in shape, you need to be following a structured training program and a training routine. This will be determined by your goals, whether they're physique, performance, or both, and the time availability that you have. So you need to make sure that you are sticking to a consistent training split that you're able to complete every single week. So if you're only able to get to the gym 3 days a week, then you need to be following a 3-day training split. There's no point going 5 days one week and then taking the next week off when work gets busy. You have to consider training a non-negotiable. I truly believe this. Like, we've worked with many clients, sometimes up for like 2-year periods at a time, and the clients that are very adherent to the training program and get the best results, they truly see and consider their training as a non-negotiable. Like, nothing will get in the way of it. People who allow, social events and work to come up and disrupt their training routine, those are the people that will take 2 to 3 weeks off at a time when things come up. And when they go on holiday, they come back, they find it very hard to get back into routine. So you need to consider training a non-negotiable, and as cliche as it sounds, you have to make it a lifestyle. You need to decide kind of what style of training that you're doing, and that will be determined by your goals if we go back to that. So if you've got bodybuilding goals and you just want to put on as much muscle as possible or just get lean, then your training program will largely consist of just resistance training. Whereas if you've got a hybrid training goal, you want to compete in a running race while, for example, building your lower body, then obviously your training program is going to be a combination of resistance training and endurance training. And something I've kind of alluded to there before is you need to know what your time availability is. Like, if it's unrealistic for you to go to the gym 6 times a week, then don't tell yourself you're going to do that. You're much better off going 3 to 4 times a week year round than going 6 days one week and then 2 days the next week. It's all about consistency, which is what I'll get onto later as well. So nutrition wise, you need to understand again what your goal is. That's a common theme here. Goals are really, really important, and where you currently stand. So I would recommend using a TDEE calculator online, so total daily energy expenditure. That's going to allow you to establish how many calories roughly you are burning per day to stay exactly the same. And then if your goal is to lose body fat, you would need to be in a calorie deficit. We'd usually recommend 300 to 500 calorie deficit per day. If you wanted to gain weight, I would add 300 to 500 calories on top of your daily intake, on top of your current maintenance in order to gain weight. And then if your goal is more performance focused and you don't need to alter your body weight for that performance goal, then you'd probably want to just eat at maintenance calories, and that would obviously be just equal to your TDEE. In terms of protein intake, generally we would recommend around 2 grams per kilogram body weight for most individuals. Females slightly less sometimes, males slightly higher. But that is a really good place to start with protein intake. And for example, if you wanted to build muscle, you would obviously need to be eating a slight calorie surplus and hitting your protein target. We go a lot more in depth within our coaching program. We'll provide our clients with meal plans if that's what they want. We'll give them kind of a maximum fat intake and a recommended carbohydrate intake as well. But at the very basic level, you need to understand how much you're eating per day and over the course of the week, and making sure that you're hitting your protein target to achieve your goals. And then, just not to go into it now, but if you're more performance focused, you would need to look at your carbohydrate intake more and placing them around your training sessions. Expenditure is really important as well, and I think it's massively overlooked by a lot of people. And what do I mean by that is essentially how much are you moving per day outside of your training sessions. So if we use an individual, for example, who has a fat loss goal, if they were doing 5,000 steps a day on average, they're going to be holding themselves back from losing fat at as quick a rate as they could be. So I truly believe that anyone who's got a fat loss goal should be hitting 10k steps or more per day. It's just a really good way to increase your total energy expenditure over the course of the day and speed up the result and the rate of fat loss. I also think from a mental health standpoint as well, it's important to move more and to get outside, get vitamin D and get sunlight. So that's something we recommend to our clients. Even if they were someone who was trying to bulk and gain weight, I'd recommend getting at least 6k steps a day outside, so they are getting plenty of headspace there. Consistency, obviously training, nutrition, it's all well and good, but unless you're being consistent with all of that and following the targets that either a coach sets out for you or you set out for yourself, you're never going to achieve the results, and you're certainly never going to maintain them. So with all the things that we previously mentioned, consistency needs to underpin all of that. And if you don't have consistency, you will always fail. I seen it on a meme recently on Instagram, like I think it was Alex Hormozy who was talking about like, what is your superpower? And like for me, my superpower, the thing that I'm very good at is being very consistent, and that's why I've managed to stay in shape all my life and year round. Like honestly, if you're not consistent with your training or nutrition, you're always going to be holding yourself back. And you know, you could be consistent with your training, but if you're not consistent with your nutrition, you're probably never going to perform in the way that you could be. You're never going to fulfill your full potential there, and you're potentially never going to look the way that you could look. For example, if you're overeating, you're never going to be as lean as you could or want to be. So consistency really is the most important thing with all of this. So yeah, that was just a kind of short educational video on that, and these are the things that we obviously cover in our coaching program. I believe they're all essential in order to get in shape. So if you are interested in coaching, either go over to my Instagram and drop me a message there, or fill out the inquiry form. But the inquiry form for coaching is also linked in the YouTube bio. So yeah, hope this was useful.